Hi, this is Phil Hinton and welcome to our coverage of Pioneer's official product launch for 2008. In this episode, we are looking at the company's Generation 9 plasma display, which was unveiled to the UK press on the 23rd of May in a packed private screening room in central London. Boasting an opening of colourful jugglers, the main press conference presented the new G9 model in a lineup against last year's screen and two other market-leading brands. Although not a scientific test by any means, the presentation helped bring attention to the G9's further improved black levels over last year's model. There was even a gasp of delight from the journalists present as the 9G was unveiled to all present. So with the press conference out of the way, I caught up with Jim Catcheside, product manager for the UK. So Jim, it's taken a little while. I remember seeing the 9Gs back in Vegas in January. Has it really taken so long to get these screens to market?
Well, not really. I mean, I think we first saw them back at CES when you were over in CES doing your piece out there. And they were early prototypes, to be fair, of the product. I think the black level we've achieved is further than that from what you've seen today at the press conference. We're looking at levels almost the same as what we did with 8G over 7G, so another 80% increase in black level, which is astonishing. I can't believe the engineers have achieved that. But it really shows in the picture. I mean, you can put the screen, as you've seen today, side by side against the G8, and that has been the benchmark, not just in the UK but globally. To be fair, it's the reference, if you like, in flat panel displays. But everyone agrees and gives it awards and accolades globally. And to see a product next to it that makes it look grey and the colours look muted is unbelievable. It really is unbelievable.
Now, there will be a lot of detractors out there thinking, well, how can you possibly have bettered the black levels? And personally, from my opinion, you certainly have done that. I would say it's probably about 4 times darker in the blacks than the 8G that's going out, and obviously the contrast ratio, although you don't measure contrast ratios anymore, is visibly better. So you've had a week with dealers, you've been showing the dealers the screens. What's the early reaction been like?
I think it's been very good. I mean, we've spent 2 weeks now working with our independent dealers who've been coming to our offices to what we call an open house, and we've had between small groups up to 60 a day coming over to have a look. The feedback and response has been fantastic. I think they all looking forward to getting the product. We'll see the first 2 products introduced next month. So we'll see a new 5090, PDP 5090, and a 6090 model, 50 and 60 inch. There are no more 40s in the series this year, and of course there have been other announcements about us stopping our glass manufacturing, so that's part of the reason that we're actually coming out away from doing a 42-inch piece of glass. Not saying that we won't go back there in the future, but we'll see the 5090 and 6090 next month, integrated, digital tuners, etc. The new black levels, you're right, we're not going to quote contrast ratios anymore. We announced that at CES. It's become a bit farcical. There is no industry standard for measuring contrast ratios. There never has been. And of course, it's just a game of numbers now. You get one brochure from one manufacturer says one thing and somebody counters it with a greater number. So we're going to come away from that completely. In our opinion, ours is the blackest. If you don't believe that, go to a store and have a look and compare it against the competition. If you don't believe that, then like yourself, get a colorimeter and a meter and learn how to measure it properly, and you can tell ours is the blackest, as many of the better reviewers and magazines do. So it's simple as that, really. The lineup then will extend. I mean, later in the year, we'll have another 2 plasma screens to offer. There'll be component-based products, and we're going to change the model numbers slightly on those. It'll be the KRP 500 and 600. And they'll go back to being component televisions. We got some criticism when we removed the media receiver years ago, particularly from custom install, where they want to keep the interconnects short between the components, particularly when HDMI interconnects and that are so expensive, it makes a lot of sense. But back at that time, in order to be competitive with the competition, making a separate media receiver was a disadvantage. Now, of course, in a premium market, which is very much where Kuro's taken us to and where we want to be in the market, we don't want to be in the mass market with the Panasonics and the Sonys and the LGs and the others. We want to be somewhere above that with the independent dealers particularly. And this component television will offer a good opportunity for them, particularly with custom install and the customer who wants it, 2 separate units. Interestingly there, we're going over a new connection between the two, between the media receiver and the plasma. Will actually now use DisplayPort, which is fully compatible with HDMI and DVI, including advanced resolution audio, etc. if need be. And so that will make the connection very simple. And we'll offer a wealth of features on those new products as well, including DLNA connectivity, so you can connect it to your network, look at your pictures and your video from your computer drives in the house. So yeah, it should be very exciting to see the component ones later in the year.
Now I'm going to hit you with this one because it's the most asked question. At this moment in time on AV forums, there's a whole thread devoted to the 9th generation at the moment. So what are we talking about price-wise? We know you're premium, so are we more expensive than 8G or competitive?
I think comparatively, I mean, compared to our introduction prices last year, they're actually slightly less. With the 50-inch products, just sort of over £2,500 towards £2,500, and the 60-inch products just over £4,000 to £4,500. So I think they're actually more competitive than they were a year ago. Having said that, obviously, and I've already pointed out, we're not in that mainstream. We are a niche brand making the best product that we possibly can. Fortunately, people will pay a premium for that, and I'm sure when they see the quality of these new screens, they'll be willing to pay that premium again with this product this year.
Now, you hinted at a new system for retailers as well, so people that are going out and looking for these screens in particular. Is it only available through Pioneer authorised dealers?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, across Europe now, we're looking actually at our distribution, particularly, as I say, we move more towards premium branding with a premium product. You're seeing that not only on our plasmas, to be fair. I mean, today we've shown a wealth of products to complement those products. And, of course, smaller screen sizes now with LCDs as well coming into our lineup, if you like, this year. And basically adding those products to it and keeping that premium level, we need to be retailing through retailers that can take the training and support needed to be able to sell the product. Customer can go in the store and get somebody who's educated and informed about the product. And to be fair, as enthusiastic as we are, fortunately we've always been strong with the independent dealers. About a year ago we started something called the Works for our better dealers, and they were dealers that were asked to stock a certain requirement of stock level, supporting certain models, so that when the customer goes there they've actually got them in stock or got them on demonstration to see. And we'll continue that this year, and there's various levels of that. But a Works dealer, one of our, if you like, Category 1 dealers, should have a good representation of the product in the shop, several different displays, and some of those even in the future now, of course, with things like the projector and indeed the EX speakers. We're looking for dealers who can support that. Probably only a few nationally, but support some of the high-end products as well.
So where else does 9G differ from 8G? I mean, what new features can we find in the new range of sets?
Well, like I said, I mean, I think there's a few things. I think on the component television particularly, we've had a lot of new features like the DLNA connectivity. One that I tried to explain in the press conference is the fact that the component television will also have a satellite tuner built into it, and indeed an MPEG-4 capable HD satellite tuner. But we need to be very cautious there and careful with the promotion of that, because obviously recently we've seen FreeSat announced in the UK. This product can't be labelled and badged FreeSat because it isn't a FreeSat decoder on board. They're transmitting their picture and actually the data that you'd need for things like red button control, now and next, and functionality like that. They're transmitting that separately to a particular chipset, and the vendors then will be able to apply the FreeSat name to their product. This year there'll be very few and far between. One of our main competitors, arguably the largest Japanese electronics manufacturer, will have integrated televisions this year, but I think there'll be very, very few on the market. The advantage, I suppose, if you can see it as an advantage with this product, is you will be able to tune into those programmes, and indeed the unscrambled BBC programmes you'll be able to watch, but unfortunately you won't have the interactivity and connectivity that you might have if you had a true FreeSat product. So we need to be very careful how that's marketed.